Information Technology, M.Tech in Information and Cyberware from the Department of Information Technology, Kongu Engineering College. She is pursuing her PhD in the area of network security. Currently, she is working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Kongu Engineering College, for the past 4 years. Her area of interest includes cryptography, network security, and wireless networks. She has authored 16 research papers published in international journals and conferences. I welcome you, ma'am. Our second resource person for the afternoon session is going to be Miss K. Venu. She is currently working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in Kongu Engineering College. She is pursuing her PhD in under Anna University. She has completed 5 years of teaching service. She has published 5 articles in international and national conferences. She has authored 1 book chapter with reputed publishers. She has published 3 articles in international journals. Her area of interest is deep learning and machine learning. I welcome you, ma'am. Now I'll hand over the session to ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Gaurav Kumar, for your introduction. So this session we are going to handle by myself and Vinu. We are going to cover a basic introduction about Python and NumPy, and she'll give a detailed explanation about how to work with pandas as well as in Matplotlib. I'll present my screen now. So hope some of you have already studied about what are the basic concepts of Python, how to work with Python, and basics about NumPy. It is the major thing we need to be understand for building with some basic applications in deep learning and some advanced applications. So these are all the basic concepts. So regarding Python, used by most of the researchers when compared to other programming languages such as C, Java, etc. So what is the major important features regarding this basics is it is server side script. We can use this for creating any web application, and it is server side, and also it is cross platform supporting, which means that we can use either in Windows, Linux or any other platform with easy supporting, and you can write easy scripting using this Python programming language. So these are all the important characteristics when compared with other programming languages, and it has very simple syntax compared to that of remaining programming, so previous programming languages. So it will run on interpreter system, which means that we can directly interact with the coding, that is interpreter. We can directly interact with the interpreter in Python. For example, in a command prompt, if I just enter x equal to 2, y is equal to 3, x plus y, if I just press enter, it will produce an answer as y, which means that I am directly interacting with the interpreter. So in order to write a code about in Python, as we know that the syntax is very simple. So it will not have any complex data type structures or complex programming formats for control structures like if, for, else. So the syntax for defining anything inside this programming language is very simple. For example, if I just want to print any statement, I just give print within the double quotes, or in advanced compiler, a single quotes is also be allowed. The syntax is very simple. So if we want to display this something in either in C, we have to represent what is the data type, and if it is in Java also, we have to write a certain codings. So So while running about this Python programming languages, it is, so there are number of ways. The first one is we can use Google's Laboratory to run your Python coding. That is one way, Google's Colab. Just I'll type what are the different ways for writing in just chat box. First one is Colab, that is Google Laboratory is the one way to just, or otherwise you can install Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook, standalone Jupyter Notebook can be installed in your system, through which you can run your code, or some other applications like Anaconda. It is an applications mainly designed for this Python. There number of Jupyter like notebooks are present. Using this, we can run our code. Or also you can use Visual Studio Code also to run your Python. Just it is needed to install Python in your system. It will, if you are using Visual Studio Code, then it is a only one simple step. Using that, you can just install Python and you can just run your code. So in this example, the most easiest way to run any Python code where user prefers is this Colab. So how to run your program using Colab? Just open this Google. You can type Colab. So it will take to Google's Colab Laboratory. So for that, you need to be signed in with your Gmail account, so that whatever the code you are doing inside this will get automatically saved in your drive. That is the main advantage of using this Colab. So when you just click Colab, as I have already signed it with my Gmail account, it is taking to my Gmail drive. So here I can give, when I just open this Google's Colab Laboratory, I am getting this framework. In this, you can see a new notebook. So each and every code we are entering here in this Python Colab will be taken as new notebook. So if you are using first time, then you can give new notebook. Editor format frame, front-end frame will be appearing. So inside that, you can type your code. So it is very simple. So you can save this code by renaming here itself. No need to, it will be automatic, like whatever the things we are doing inside our drive will automatically save there in our drive. That is the main advantage. So after using this, you can see, after I have clicked my new notebook, it is open. So initially the name will be set as untitled 0, untitled 1. Likewise, we can reframe this as my first Python program. So it is the default extensions. Either we can set py Python, or we can leave it with the default extension. So if I want to display anything, just this is the place where, or this is the format where I have to enter my code. So inside this, I can write my first coding. So it will, whatever the things if we have done inside this coding framework will automatically get saved inside this my first .python program. So run, you can see here a run button which is automatically present. So what is the another main advantages of using this Colab is, if we are using any command prompt or something, we have to run our code Python space program name .py, like what we have run other programming languages like Java and C. We have to give the command in command prompt to get run our code. But here you can have this framework built in. So on clicking this, we can get our first output, my first coding. So inside this, whatever we have given inside this, print will be taken as an argument for that function, and it will just display whatever the things we have given. So my first coding, this is my output, this is my code, this is my output. So whatever the changes I want to done in this particular coding, I can just open here, then do the changes, then again click my run button, then I can see my output here. So the working part of this Python programming language, that is writing the coding and executing the coding, is very simpler compared to that of using other way of running, that is Anaconda, Jupyter Notebook, etc. So most of the users are preferring this way of running the Python notebook. So if anybody having doubt of about how to open this Colab or how to run this, you can unmute and ask. So next, you can have a doubt of how to see how this codes gets saved in our drive. So you can can open, since whichever the Gmail you are logged in, you can open the drive. Inside that drive, a folder which is automatically be created, that is called Colab Notebooks. So you can use this Colab Notebooks. When you are just clicking this Colab Notebook, you can see this is the first program I have created. This is the, you can see here my first.ipynb. This is the program which we have created now. So whatever the code we have created after this will get automatically stored inside a folder called Colab Notebooks, which will be automatically be created inside your drive. So that programs you can open later, but you can open. So you can open this with Colab Laboratory. So if you want to make any changes after this, then you can go to your drive, you can open that particular code, right click, open with Colab Laboratory, then you can see your code gets open. So my code gets open. So in this way, so after this, if I want to make any changes, I can make a change here, and it will be automatically get saved. So we can see here at when it gets saved at last, and if any changes needed, done it again, and you can see it, that part will be saved in your drive. This is the simple way for executing your Python code. So the next thing is specify the data type explicitly. So if we want to give any that is integer variable, we can assign a variable. We can declare a variable a equal to 1. Now a will be considered as an integer variable. If I want to assign anything with string, just I can give my variable name equal to my string value. So if I just display what is the type of a is taken, it will be taken as string. These are all the built-in data types which is automatically be supported by Python. So if you have given any numbers, that is comes under the category of numeric data types. Inside numeric data type, we are having int, float, complex, etc. Similarly, these are all the sequence type, list, tuple, range, and mapping type. We are having dictionary. This will be most used part in Python. These are all the different data types. One important thing about data type is it is not necessary to define data type explicitly while defining a variable. Just it is necessary to define a variable with a value. It will be automatically set. Data type will be automatically set depend upon what values we have assigned. So example I have given here for a variable x. First time I am assigning with the value hello world. So I am just displaying type of x. What is this type of x represents? It will just display what the data type that is assigned to x. So just to understand how it is assigned implicitly, so the same variable is assigned with different data type. X is equal to hello world. So x is equal to hello world, and if you are displaying that thing using type of x, I can get my output as class str. So here each and every data type will be considered as a different classes. In framework it is written as different class str, class int. Likewise, if it is assigned with any number and I am just displaying the type of that x value, class int will be assigned. If the third case is that list of elements, that is apple, banana. This is the list of elements. So here the list in Python will be declared with this brackets with either numbers or strings. If you just display that x, that will be taken as class of list. See here the same variable, I have not specified any data type, just assigning some values. Depend upon the value I have assigned, the type will be automatically set. If I want to know what data type have set for that particular variable, I can use type of function to display that particular value. These are all the things about an introduction to Python. So next about us NumPy, which is working with arrays in Python, that it is one of the framework which is already, or we can say it is a library which is already be written. While installing Python, these libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib will automatically be installed. In case if it is not installed in your system, then you can use any command line to install particular thing. So the NumPy is the basic thing we need to know before entering into the Pandas, that is working with arrays. So NumPy stands for numerical Python. The mainly this numerical Python is used or serving to work with or processing the arrays in Python. So what is the difference? There is another type called array, that is array is as a standalone separate thing also present in Python. But what is the difference between declaring arrays using arrays and using normal array function, and declaring and processing arrays using NumPy is that thing will take larger time for processing when compared to that of NumPy. So most of the users prefers to work with arrays using NumPy library. That is the main process. Normal arrays takes a very slow to processing. This will process at faster. So array object in NumPy is called as ND array, that is n dimensional array. It provides a lot of supporting functions. So we can easily use the integrated functions. For example, if I want to sort anything, so it is not necessary that we have to write certain number of lines tracking from first to sort that one. Just there is a function called sort which is already written in this framework. You can import that function, or you can use that function wherever it is necessary, then we can get that output. So that is the major advantages of using these types of frameworks like NumPy, Pandas, etc. Already the majority of the functions have been defined in that library. Whenever it is needed or wherever it is needed, we can use that function inside that framework. So it is easy for us to reduce the number of lines of codes to write, also the processing time. So how to, the first basic thing is how to create an array using NumPy. So we can create an array using NumPy using the function called array. It has already been written inside this framework. So you can see my first line is import NumPy as NP. So in order to use the functions defined inside this NumPy framework, I cannot, because NP array, this array is a function which is written inside this NumPy library or NumPy framework. In order to use that function, I cannot use it directly. For that, I need to import in my code. So in C programming, we will be writing hash include. In Java, we will be writing import java.io. Likewise, if we need any library to be used in our program, we have to import that wherever necessary. Import NumPy as NP. What is this import NumPy as NP is? So wherever it is used, wherever its function is used, I have to write NumPy dot array of. In order to write that name fully, I can be assigned that with shorter name NP. So instead of writing NumPy dot array, I can write NP dot array. It's of your choice. You can just import NumPy and you can use NumPy dot array also, no problem. Import NumPy as NP is, this library is imported with the name NP. So wherever it is used, instead of NumPy dot function name, I can use NP dot function name. So initially a variable, so NP dot array of a set of values will be given within this bracket. So after displaying this, I can get my output. So if you just display what is the type of the variable, what type will be assigned, what data type will be assigned for this ARR, I can enter type ARR. I can get my output as class numpy.ntArray. It is an array format of NumPy. So if it is a normal array, I can get as class array. That's it. So in order to access any values present at any particular index, I can use that indexing. Indexing format is same, which is similar to other programming language. That is, it will start with 0, 1, 2, 3 likewise. If I want to just display, because this indexing slicing is an important concept in NumPy. So indexing, it differs with negative indexing. So if it is array of 2, it means that element which is present at the index 2, 0, 1, 2, so 3 will be just displaying. So I can run this output in my Colab. So we can write our second program. So in order to open a new notebook, you can click this file, you can open this new notebook. So there you can get the same framework for running your code. So here you can write my code. So it is not copying, just I can type. So this I can rename here. So no need for file savers like that. So we can rename it here. It will automatically get saved. So click this run button. So np.array, it is a function. It will assign, a will be assigned with the values 1, 2, 3. Just we are displaying this one, and type of a will display what is the data type which is assigned. So this run. So the running time depends upon our network connection, because it needs network connection. So whatever the code we are writing inside this Colab and running needs a network connection. Depends upon our connection, this will automatically gets executed and it will display the output. So the arrays are displaying, and the class type, that is data type assigned for that particular values, is also displaying. So if I just go into my Colab notebooks and another program called array.python, that is IPYNB, which is automatically saved in my drive. So likewise, you can create file, new notebook, or you can want to edit something, open that previously defined notebook and you can made a change, and it will be automatically saved in your drive. So you can see all your programs inside a folder called Colab Notebooks. This will automatically be created inside your drive. So next about this indexing. So in order to create two-dimensional array, I can give, so if it is a set of elements with one square bracket, it will be taken as a single dimensional array automatically. So if this can be given as a set with comma separated, that will be automatically taken as a two-dimensional array. If I want to know what dimension is assigned for this variable, it is not necessary that we have to tell this variable of it is a two-dimension. So just display this variable name dot ndim. Ndim is an attribute which is defined for any array in NumPy. The purpose of which one is to display the number of dimensions assigned for that particular array variable. So in this case, the number of dimension assigned is 2. So this will be just displaying as my output. So next, as I have said, the important concept which is differ in this array is NumPy arrays, or we already know about the general indexing type is positive indexing. So here in Python there is another indexing type which is present. It is called negative indexing. The important point to be noted about this negative indexing is negative indexing always starts from -1, whereas positive indexing, for example, this is my one-dimensional array, say 10, 20, 30, 40. So here the positive indexing starts from left to right. The first one is 0, 1, 2, 3. But negative indexing starts from last element, but it will not start from 0. It will start from -1, -1, -2, -3, and -4. So negative indexing should be like this. So if I want to display this 30, I can either give my array name of 2, or otherwise my array name of -2. If I am just displaying my array name of -3, I can get my output as 20. Same way, if I have just display a of 1, then also I may get my output as 20. So this is an important point. We have to note the mistake, the frequent mistake happen places. So most of us think that the negative indexing will always be starts from 0, but it is not the case. It will be starts from -1. So you can ask me whether this two-dimensional array also negative indexing follows. Yes, of course. Negative indexing, yes, it starts from, depends upon your row. So for 0th row and 0th row, positive indexing starts from 0, 1, 2. For 0th row, negative indexing starts from last element in that row, -1, -2, -3. Similarly, for my first row, positive indexing starts from left to right, and my negative indexing starts from -1, -2, -3. Here also we cannot think that since negative indexing starts from last element, this 60 is -1, 50 is -2, 40 is -3, and this 30 is -4. It will not assign like this. It will be then it will be starts from every row. For every row, negative indexing starts from every last element, and it starts from -1. So if I want to display this 50 in positive indexing, I can just display as a of 1, 1. Yes, that is one way. Or I can give us a of 1, -2. Yes, that also represents 50. If I want to display 30 using positive indexing, using a of 0, 2, that will represent 30. A of 0, -1, that also represents 30. So here in this way, the negative indexing differs from the one-dimensional array as well as from two-dimensional array. So hope you are clear about this negative indexing. And next, after this indexing, the important concept about this NumPy array is slicing. Slicing will say that is we are going to cut, that is we are going to split an entire array into a smaller groups. In order to split your array, you have to need two important things, that is where you have to start your splitting, where you have to end your splitting, that is start and end. So that is the syntax. Or otherwise I can specify start to end. So step is a third variable, whether I have to lift one element or I have to lift two elements, I have to lift three. Likewise I have to give that one as third argument, that is called step. So it's the same thing you can see here, import numpy as np. So in this array I'm just assigning 7 values from 1 to 7. So print array of 1 to 1 colon 5. What is this 1 colon 5? Starting is 1, ending is this 5. Which means that it is an indexing. It is not represents here from this 1 to 5. It represents from the index 1 to index 5. Here I can rewrite this as start index to end index, or start index colon end index colon step value. So here my starting index is 1, so it has to start from 2, right? 0, 1, it has to start from 2. So 5, so here one point we have to notice, start index will be included but end index will not be included. So if it is 1 colon 5, it will start from the index 1 but it will end in the index 4, not 5. This 5 will not be included. So we can keep in our mind like it will be like start to end minus 1. That is end index minus 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I can get my output as 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the output for my first line. So I can give this as negative indexing also, minus 3 colon minus 1. Yes, the same thing happens here. It has to, this is the start index. It has to start from minus 3. What is the index position of minus 3? Minus 1 is my last. So minus 2, minus 3. It has to start from 5. So this last index is minus 1. Generally, this end value will not be included. End index will not be included. It will display before that value. So I can get my output as 5, 6. I am repeating. So since the slicing here gives in negative formatting, so minus 3, so that is 5. 5 represents minus 3 here. Minus 3 colon minus 1 means this is start index, this is end index. So starting from 5 and end index will not be included. So 7 will not be included. So before that 6. So up to 5, 6. This is my output. So in this way we have to give our slicing in both positive as well as in negative way. So there are different ways of using most frequent ways of slicing formatters. You can, it is not necessary that we have to always use this start index. Thing is also be optional. All these arguments are optional arguments of either our choice to specify start, end, etc. So in this way we have to
Sorry for the inconvenience. Just give us few minutes. I will be back.
So there is an internet connectivity problem. I will check. Wait for a few minutes.
Am I audible now? Am I audible now?
Audible, audible.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So I'll present my screen now. So in this both a start, it is not necessary that if it is a start index, it will start element. So if the step index value is given, it will take from that. That is, if you have given 2, it will count two elements. So between elements will be left. That is the importance of the step size. That is the necessary of the step size. And next important thing is copy and view. So there are two functions which is present in NumPy. One is copy and another one is view. So copy, it is a new array. What is the purpose of this copy is? It is a shadow. We can say that it is a shadow of original array. Any changes made in our original array will not be affected in our copied array. Whereas in case of view, if we are using the function view, any changes we have made in the first array will affect in the original array. So the first one is nothing but it is we are already studying about a concept called pass by value and pass by reference. So that particular concept. So if it is a copy, so that will not affect. If it is a view, that is like reference. So it will affect any changes that will be affected in that original array. So an example is given here. Please note down. So an array is created with 5 elements. So X is in another array, ARR dot copy. So if I have used this copy function, okay, all the elements will be copied into X, okay. The first element is changed into 42. In my first array, the first element index value is changed to 42. I am just displaying both the arrays. You can see the changes is happening only in the first array. I am just copying to the another array X, changing the first element in my first array, just displaying both the arrays. I can get the output like this. Only I have changed that value is changed in my first array. Whereas if I have used the same thing in view, so I have changed the first array value and changed the changes is reflected in both the arrays. That is the difference between copy and view. View acts as a reference, whereas copy is just a copy of variable. So any changes made will not be affected. So next one is reshape. Reshape is so for example, if you are given, it is not necessary that we have to define an array variable of particular dimensions of our own. I can give a certain number of elements to an array. We can ask that variable to reshape according to our necessary. For example, in this example, I have declared an array variable with certain 12 elements. Then I can say that new array equal to this array. This is first one is in one dimensional array. Array dot reshape of 4, 3, which means that this new array should be an array of dimension 4 rows and 3 columns of dimension 4 into 3, 4 cross 3 matrix. I can create another array using this first dimensional array to reshape 3 dimensional array also. 2, 3, 2. Yes, it is a 3 dimensional array. So 2 sets of 3 rows and 2 columns value will be assigned. So this reshape is a function. It will take certain number of elements and it will tell you what dimensions we have to create our new array. So it is not necessary that if it is a 4 cross 3 matrix, we have to give that values in all the 4 cross 3. It is of our choice. So I can give the certain elements, then I can ask my array to reshape according to my necessary. First thing, I can ask my array to reshape of 4 cross 3. Second case, I can ask my array to reshape according to 2 cross 3 cross 2. So that is the purpose of this reshape. That is changing the shape of the array. Here the shape represents, it is nothing but the number of elements in each dimension. Number of row elements cross number of column elements. So then display, as we all know that for displaying we can use either any of the control structure to display the elements. So either it may be a for loop, while loop of our choice. So a simple way to display the element is for variable name in what is our array name, then display our array. Then the same way we can display our two-dimensional array also, just using either of the control structure to display the elements in array. Then we can see at last the important things to be noted at last in this NumPy is what are the major functions that we can use with this NumPy. So the first one is concatenate function. What is the purpose? We already know from the name itself, we already know. So in order to join two or more arrays in a single line, we can use this concatenate function. For example, I can declare my first array with certain values, second array with certain values, both are one dimensional array, and in my third array I can give np.concatenate. Here concatenate is a function which is defined inside this NumPy array, and if I give this two parameter array 1 comma array 2 within this function bracket, that is this brackets, which means that these two arrays will be concatenated and stored as a one dimensional array for this ARR. So the same way two-dimensional array concatenation is also be follows, but the two-dimensional array concatenation we have to specify axis. Along column wise we are going to concatenate, or along row wise we are going to concatenate. So that column wise is otherwise called as axis 0 and row wise is otherwise called as axis 1. So here I can give my second example is two-dimensional array. First array value contains a 2 cross 2 matrix of 1, 2, 3, 4. Second array again a 2 cross 2 matrix of 5, 6, 7, 8. It is not necessary that always these dimensions have to be equal. And np.concatenate of array 1 comma array 2, I have given axis equal to 1. This axis is we will be using for this two-dimensional or three-dimensional arrays. This axis equal to 1 represents, already have said that it is a row wise. If we have not given any axis, this is also an optional parameter. If I have not given any axis, by default it will be considered as a column wise, that is axis 0, and it will work according to that. So 1, 2, first case the answer will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and second array will be 5, 6, 7, 8. I have set along axis 1, that is along row wise. So my first output will be 1, 2, and second array is first row 5, 6. That will be taken as my first row, and second row in my first array 3, 4. Second row array in my array 2, 7, 8 will be taken and concatenated, displayed as in 3, 4, 7, 8. So this is the function of concatenate. How concatenate have to be used with one-dimensional array? How concatenate have to be used with two-dimensional array? The another one function is split. It is a reverse operation of joining, that is splitting. So here I have to pass number of splits. I want to split my array into 3. Then I can give the 3 of equal dimensions. It will be split. If it is not an equal dimension, the last array elements, how many elements which is left over at the last will be given in that last split. If it contains another element 7, my last array contains a 7. So here array with 6 elements. So new array np.array split. So here I have to use the split function in this way, array underscore split. So which array I am going to split, of how many splits I have given as an input. If I am displaying that number of arrays, so each and every split will be considered as an individual array. So here my output is a 3 array, list of 3 arrays will be given with two values. That is 3 equal splits can be made, and I can get my output as an answer. Next, if I want to search any element in my array, then I can use my search function. So we already know that if anything want to be searched here, its index value will be written, or at what index positions that particular, if more than one places that particular element is present, all those indexes will be written as an array. If only one index is present, that one particular index will be written. So see here in my array, I have given with certain element with 4 appeared in 3 places of index 3 and 5 and 6. So I have given x equal to np.var So in my array equal to 4, at which places my 4 values are appearing, that indexes will be retrieved and it is stored in the array. That is, here more than one values are present, this will be treated as an array and all those indexes will be returned as an array. So another one needed function for any array is sorting functions. So here sort np.sort of array name, so this will sort all the elements according to our need. And last is the random function. So random we already know, so random functions can be used with the two different ways. One is rand int, another one is rand. So rand it will take two parameters, so it is optional to specify both the thing. So it will generate the random numbers between the start and end. So if I have left the start, then by default it will take the starting value as 0. So this end is always be necessary. So if you just display the x only 1, here it will return only one random integer between 0 to 100. So if I want to generate a float random variable, then instead of rand int I can use rand. So this rand functions will, if we have not specified any start and end, so here I can give the start comma end is optional. So if you left that one, by default it will be taken as 0 to 1 and any random integer value between, sorry, random float value between 0 to 1 will be displaying. So if we want to generate, so here only one, in both the cases I can get my output only one value. So if I want to generate a random matrix or random sequences, then I can give my size. So in addition to this 100, if I have given size is equal to 5, then it will be taken, then it will be taken as one dimensional array of 5 elements. So if I want to generate two dimensional 3 comma 5, if two values are, so 3 rows 5 columns, so rand in filtered. If you want this particular thing will be present instead of integer, if you want to be displayed in float, then you can use this rand function instead of rand in functions. So these are all the basic things about what is the data type presence and what are all the different functions we can generally. These are all the, there are n number of functions, universal functions is also be present in this NumPy. But these are all the major functions that is needed for any cases. So for, in order to work with some bigger applications, these basic things have to be clear. So if you have any doubt, you can post. Otherwise, I'll handle my session to Ms. Vinu. She'll be taking pandas and working with data sets. Thank you everyone for your patient listening. Now I'll hand over my session to Vinu.
Vani Rajashekar,
Yes, ma'am.
there is a query for you. How to
Yes,
integrate
ma'am.
Colab with GitHub? Some of
Ma'am,
the
not clear, ma'am. Ma'am, not clear, ma'am.
faced a query how to integrate Colab with GitHub.
Ma'am, we have to copy that GitHub link, then place it before that Colab. So we are using this Colab, right, ma'am? So HTTP Colab. So we have to paste that link before this one and put it in address bar so that our GitHub PyCode will be integrated with our Colab laboratory. So we have to copy that GitHub link. We have to paste that before this HTTPS Colab so that our GitHub code will be integrated with this Colab code. So at last I'll demonstrate because I'm not having any GitHub code like right now. So I'll demonstrate at last. At the end of the session, I'll demonstrate that one. Any other queries, please? Okay, thank you all for your patient listening, and I'll hand over my session to Vinu.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon to all and all present over here. I'm Minu. I'm going to give some brief introduction about pandas. Pandas is a tool for data processing which is mainly used for analyzing our data, and it is built upon the NumPy, and it provides several high performance computing functions and methodologies, and the data or insight we obtained from analyzing the data using pandas can be used for other purposes, can be used along with the SciPy, Matplotlib and scikit-learn in order to again process the data, and if you want to extract any patterns you can use it along with those machine learning modules also. So let me directly go into the hands-on session by using Colab. First, I have taken this Superstore sales Excel sheet. This is an Excel sheet with has the customer name, state, country, and what are all the products he or she is buying, along with the shipping and the category, along with the profit, sales. Every details are present in this Excel sheet. Now, I am going to use the pandas functions and methodologies in order to require or take some insight from this Excel sheet. In order to start with this, first let me explain with one simple example. Mainly in this pandas module, we are having two data structure. One is series and another one is data frames. Series is an one-dimensional data, and all the operations that we can perform series is more or less similar to NumPy. And today we are going to focus on the data frames. Data frame is a two-dimensional data. This is an example for data frames. Like this, we will be having two-dimensional data, and in this data frame how we are going to extract the insight we are going to see in this session. And first of all, to do that, if you are having any CSV file or any Excel sheet as the data set, means in order to load it into our Python, and if you want to work it out, we have to first load it. If we are using Jupyter Notebook, we have installed it, means you can directly load your comma separated file or Excel file by using this code PD. This PD stands for pandas. So before using this PD, we have to use import pandas as PD. Then PD.read CSV will read your CSV file.
No,
Ma'am,
sorry for the disturbance.
ma'am.
Can you maximize the font size?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
So by using read CV method, we can read the comma separated file. This comma separated file is placed in the directory where you are having your Python code. If you have installed your Jupyter Notebook in your laptop itself, means you can use this code directly. Otherwise, if you are using your Colab in order to execute your Python code, means first you have to load any CSV file or Excel sheet in which the data set is present in your drive. Then from the drive you have to load this data. In order to do that, I will show you a demonstration. For example, I am having my weather data in my drive, and in order to load it from the drive, what I have to do is I have opened on new notebook, and from here I have to first click on this folder so that this file folder will be open to you, and here you have to click on this mount drive. Okay, after clicking on this mount drive, you have to connect to Google Drive. Then it will be asking for the account in which you are having your data. Then a drive folder will be open to you. So like this, a drive folder will be open to you. And from here, if you click on this drive folder, see weather data.excel sheet like this, your Excel file will be open. From here, you can copy the path so that you can open it in your code. See here, I'm going to in first line, what you have to do is import pandas as PD. Then we are going to read the Excel file, and then you have to copy the link from the drive after mounting it, and then you have to place it here within single quotation. See, this is the data set I am having in weather data.excel sheet, and I have loaded it. Okay, like that, like this, you can load your data set in your Colab itself, and you can work it out. For that, first you have to mount your drive by clicking on this icon. After mounting, a folder like this drive will be there, and from there you have to copy your Excel file, and then you have to paste the link here so that your data set will be loaded. After loading the dataset, you can perform or use several functions in order to derive some insight from your dataset. For that, I have taken this supermarket example, and initially I have loaded this supermarket example. In order to know how many values or how many rows and columns are present in your data frame, you have to use df.shape. This df is the data frame. This is data frame is the two-dimensional data in which your data set is loaded now. In this data frame, in order to get how many rows and columns, you have to use df.shape. Here I have used df.shape so that this contains this much rows and 21 columns are present in your data set. Then if you want to look at glance about the data set, what is present in the data set means you have to use df.head. This function will retrieve top 5 rows present in your data set. Okay, top 5 rows will be displayed to you. If you are using df.tail means last 5 rows will be displayed to you. It will give all the details will be displayed to you so that you can have a glance of your data set. Then as we have seen in NumPy, we can also do slicing. If you want to take only a part of the data set means like this, you can provide the slicing 1 to 3, 1 to 30, like that. Any type of slicing can also be used. Then if you want to know only what are all the columns or what are all the fields available in your data set means you have to use df.columns so that all the names of all the fields will be displayed to you. Then if you want to know some information, if any of the data is containing any not null values, missing values means you can use the info method so that for each and every field the not null count will be displayed. Here all the values are having data, all the rows are having data, no such not entered values are there. So we can everything is given here. Then we can also use the is null method along with the sum method to know what are all the fields, how many fields are having not entry details and all like this. Here in the taken sample data set, no missing data are available, so everything is 0. Then again there is another method called describe. This method is used to describe, that is mean, median, count of each and every values like that and all. You will be having the data. This describe will describe about the fields which is of type numerical. It will take the fields which are all the fields of numerical type, and those fields will be described by this describe method. See, sales data will having only numerical value, total count, mean, standard deviation, like that, and all your values will be, you can get an overall description about the numerical fields present in your data sets. Next, from the whole data set, we have seen how to display your whole data set. Now, if you want to display any one particular field, means you can use DF ship mode. See, I am having several fields like this. You are having the fields such as order ID, order date, country, and all. If you want to display only any category, ship mode, or anything, if you want to display any one field, means you can use DF in the bracket, you can give the name of the fields. If you want to display more than one field, means you can give more than one field, but you have to give it within two brackets has to be there in order to display more than one fields. Okay, like this, like ship mode, you can display any of the fields present in your data. Then if you want to, for example, in category, see, I am going to display only category. DF of category means in the category I am having office supply values, furniture values. Likewise, I am having a list of values present in the category field. Now I want to check what, for example, if office supply is there, means how many office supplies data is present in the category field, how many furniture data is present in the category field. Like that, if I want the detail, means I have to use DF category dot value count. If I am saying like this, means this DF category, this category field is having only three different data. One is office supplies, technology, and the furniture, and we will be getting the count. So this category is containing only three different data, and count of each and every data will be displayed to you. So like this, in a larger data set, see, this data set is containing 51,000 rows. From this larger data set, we can easily extract the insights by using simplest code, by using the pandas frameworks. Then if you want to make it as a graph, and if you want to view it, means also you can do this. Here I am getting the value count, value for each and every different categories present in the category field, and I am going to plot it as a pie chart, means dot plot method is to be called. Then kind equal to, you have to, if you want to make it as a pie chart, means you have to use pie. If you want to make it as a bar chart, means you have to use bar. Then you have to specify the figure size. Then you can specify this values can be, the font size of this values present over here can be changed by using this font size. By using this font size property, you can change the value of the description. So by using the plot method, you can able to plot the content as a pie chart, or by using the bar, you can also change it as the bar chart. Like this, a bar chart can also be given. So like this also, you can pick one particular field and you can display it with some visualization techniques such as bar chart and pie charts. Next is, if you want to, so far we have seen how to display all the records, how to display a part of the record, or how to display one particular field, and if in a different form of views. Now in one particular field itself, I have to display only I have to specify some condition. For example, you have to take the subcategory equal to paper. That is, if you want to display the row of the subcategory which is having paper, and in that also you have to display only the customer name and country. You have to know what are all the customers and the country, or which country is mainly focusing on the paper, who is buying more amount of papers from your shop. Like that, if you want to categorize it and see, means you can also do it. First of all, you have to tell the condition. DF is your data frame in which the data set is loaded. You have to tell the condition. You have to check whether what are all the countries your paper sales is there. So subcategory equal to paper. From that you have to display only, you need not to display all the details. You have to know only the customer name and the country. Okay, so you have to, you are providing two fields, so you have to place it within double bracket. So customer name and the country. So if you want to take some data based upon the condition, means you have to use like this. You have to use the location. This is used to pick up some particular subset of the data. This location is used to, here itself we are directly telling what are all the rows is to be selected from all your 50,000 rows approximately. We are all selecting the row which is having the subcategory as paper. We are directly giving which all the rows is to be selected. So we have to use the LOC. This is the function. To this function you have to pass the condition, and then from that condition, in that, or you need not to display all the fields, you have to display only customer name and country. So I am giving the code like this. So instead of customer name, if you want to display some other field, means you can easily, if you want to display your ship mode, means you can change it. Ship underscore mode. So that your data will be displayed to you. Next, here we have specified only one condition, and here also if you want to display along with the quantity, which are all the countries buying a large amount of data. You have to check some, if you want to give some condition or constraint based upon the quantity also, means you can specify. See here, in previous example, we have specified only one condition. What you have to display the country and the ship mode, who are all buying only papers. Whereas here, we have added an additional condition also, where quantity, your quantity should be greater than 30 or 3, anything can be given. So we are going to display the country who are all buying paper, and that too quantity should be greater than 3. Likewise, if you want to add upon the conditions also, you can do it. Same thing, I have added the condition, another condition, df quantity. I have to take the quantity field also, and then I have to check the condition, and so that since I have added the condition, I have used the and symbol, and you can add n number of conditions. So I have taken the country and the customer who have bought only paper, and the quantity is also greater than 3. All these are present in your data set. So by using all these functions in an appropriate format, we can be able to easily extract the insights. Then next part is for any particular field, we can use functions. Some aggregate functions can also be used. Min function will return your minimum value present in the particular field, and the max function will return the maximum value. Some function will add upon all the values. Likewise, you can use n number of aggregate functions in your fields. Next is, if you want to check, for example, if you want to check one particular category's sales, how much sales has been taken for one particular category. In your data set, the data is given in the form based upon the day. In the day, and what is the shipping, and what is the customer name, what is the product he has bought, and what is the ship mode. Based upon the day wise, your details has been given. From this details, if you want to check one particular character, or if you want to take about the categories and what are all the categories present, what are all the products present in our shop, and what is its sales, how each and product is going on, what is the movement of each and every product, means we have to sum up the sales data and we have to check for each and every category. In order to do that, first you have to group by subcategory. We have to categorize categorically, we have to group the data, and then after grouping we have to find the sum. To which field we have to find? We have to find the sum of sales. So I have grouped all the values present in the category. Your category will contain some list of values along with some count. So I am going to group all those values, and then all its sales data will be summed up. So that accessories means total sales amount is this, art means total sales amount, envelopes means total sales amount. Like this you will be having the data. Then after sorting this data, you can easily find out what are all the fast moving products, what are all the slow moving products, like that, and all. You can easily get the insight and you can do the appropriate actions. So you can also use the group by method in order to do this work. For example, now let us see if there is a data, day-wise data is available in your Excel sheet. Then now I have to print a graph which shows monthly how much your sales is given. You have to present one graph from the starting month to your ending month, and from that graph should show in what all the month your sales has decreased, in what all the month you are having peak sales, like that. And insight is to be produced in the graph format, means what we have to do with this data. Here you are having day-wise transaction details has been given. From this day-wise transaction detail, first we have to group it into month-wise. In order to do that, first from this data, you have to extract only month and the year. In order to do that work, that is your first work, what I have done is, in order to display your insight or graph based on the monthly data, from the order date, I have to extract only the year and the month. In order to do that, I have used on function. This is a lambda function. Lambda function means only one. If any anonymous function containing only one line of code is called as lambda function in your Python. So you can use the keyword lambda. This is the argument. For this argument will be each and every order date will be assigned to this argument, and from that order date we are extracting only year and month, and then we are extracting and we are going to place it in another field called month year in your data frame itself. So this data frame is initially consisting of only I think 21 columns. We are going to add another new column called month year. This new column is framed by doing some operations in your order date. So from the order date, I am going to extract your year and month, and I am going to place it in the month year column. So I am going to create a new column called month year. I am going to take my order date. In that order date, for each and every value, I am going to apply this lambda function. This lambda function is applied on it, and in order to extract it only year and the month, you are using this strftime function. We are extracting it from each and every values, and we are going to place it in the month year, so that a new column called month year will be created in your data frame. So see, like this also contains 51,290 rows along with the month and year data is present in this particular field. So now what I am going to do is I am going to combine. If I combine month wise, I am going to combine. So we have to do by group by month of year, and then after grouping we have to check on the sales. So sum of sales is to be checked, and then reset indexing. This resetting, everything is done, and another data frame is created. We are going to view it as a visualization, as a graph. Here I have stored it in another data frame. So while storing it in the another data frame, you can use the reset index in order to create a fresh index from 0 to 1. Okay, only by using the reset index we can able to create a new data frame and create an new index, a fresh index can be created. So we are grouping the month year, then we are calculating the sum based upon the sales value, and these two, based on these two values, I am going to, only these two values are placed in the DF10. Okay, I have created a new data frame. This data frame is containing only month, year and sales, whereas my old DF data frame is containing 21 columns like this. This data frame is containing order ID, order date, everything is present in this data frame. Whereas here I am creating a new data frame which consists of only these two data. So that by using this data frame, you can able to easily draw a graph. So I have a data frame like this. Now by using this data frame, I have to create a graph like this. In order to create a graph, we have to use the plot method. This plot method is present in the matplotlib module. So first, before using everything like importing pandas, you have to import matplotlib, and a shorthand is PLT. Import matplotlib as PLT. You have to give that line, and then only you can use this PLT shorthand to, in order to call your plot method. So to this plot method, you have to first give this x-axis and the y-axis values. So I am going to take the field month, year and the sales from the DF10. This is the new data frame I have created. So this is your x-axis, and I have taken another y-axis. I have taken the month, year and sales as your x-axis and y-axis, and I am going to plot it as a graph. To this graph, I can give any color like this. Colors can be assigned. Then the figure size can be assigned by using the figure method, and inside that you have to use the figure size in order to change the size of your image. Then X is the one which is used to give the values for your x-axis. X-axis values, you only if you are using the horizontal means you cannot see the values correctly. So I have used the rotation as vertical so that it is displaying in the vertically, and you can able to give the size of the x-axis values. After giving the show method, and graph like this can be shown to you. So this graph is clearly explained. See, this month initially in 2011, from 2011 up to 2014, our data is there, and initial stage of your company, your transactions or your sales is low. Then it is going up in your September and October month and all. Then again in December it's going up, and then the initial stage again from January, February and all, our sales is decreasing. Like that, by using, see here the sales is at the peak in 2013 June month, it is at the peak. Like this, you can able to get an overall view about your data. So just by what I have done, just I have taken the month and the year, then I have grouped up the data and calculate the sum of the sales, and I have taken the date along with the sales in x-axis and y-axis, and then I have placed the data as a graph. So like this, you can take up the insights from your data. And next is from the sales data set. If you want to know top 10 products which is selling top 10 products to be sold daily, that means what we can do is we can group by, we are having your list of product names. Then what we have to do is we have to group by product name. If you want to display product name, means you have to use product name. These are all the products present in your company. If you want to display it, if you want to group it by the product name, and Data will be grouped, and then after that, if you want, after based on the sales, see these are all the product name, and the sales data has been added, and displayed. This is displaying as a text. If you want to display it as a data frame, means you can place everything inside the data frame, so that a new data frame will be created and it will be stored. So here I have created another data frame called product sales, and pd.data frame is used to create a data frame. For that I am giving this values. Or else, in the previous example we have seen, we have to create a new index so that it can be used. Dot reset index, like this you can call the reset indexing method, and then if you are storing it in a variable, means this will be taken as a data frame. This is a second method to create a data frame. You can call the data frame, and inside the data frame you can pass this value, so that a new data frame called product sales will be created. A product name along with the sales detail, a data frame is created. Next, from this data, I have to take the top 10 details. So this data frame is to be sorted, sorting based upon which field you have to specify. So this is the data frame, then sort values. This is used to sort your data frame. Then in the data frame, you will be having n number of columns or fields. So by using which data, you have to sort the data thing, you have to tell it. So by equal to, you have to tell the field name based upon which the sorting operation is to be done. Then in place equal to true means the sorting operation is done in your same data frame, or if you want to create a new data frame, means here you need not to place. If you are placing in place equal to true, means your original data frame will be altered. Otherwise, a new data frame will be created based on the modification. Here, my original data frame can be altered based upon this sorted value. That means original data set can be sorted. So, in place equal to true and ascending equal to false. So, after giving the sorted values, I have to display the top 10 details. So, in ascending equal to false means only in descending order it will be displayed. So, top selling products will be displayed on top. So, in order to extract the first 10 details, you have to use this slicing colon 10. That means initial value I haven't specified. So from 0 to 10, your data will be displayed. So this will be your output, so that from here you can see what are all the top selling products in your company. So in order to extract the top selling product, first you have to group the product, and then you have to calculate the sum of your sales. You can either store it in a new data frame, or you can do it in your original data frame also. Then you have to sort the values. So after sorting it, you can take the top 10 details in order to present your top selling products. Next is, there is another insight, there is another example for insight. If I am having the shift mode, in order to know what are all the shift modes present in your company means, or in any of the company means, you can use count values, so that each and every value along with this count will be given. So by using the Seaborn library, you can also plot it. So matplotlib, by using matplotlib you can plot the data. By using Seaborn also you can plot the data. Import Seaborn or CNS, and by using the Seaborn I am going to plot the data. So SNS count plot, we are going to plot the values based on the count. Then df shift mode, I have given only the column name, and based upon the count of each and every category present in this column, and a graph has been plotted. So first here in this count plot, what it will do is, first it will take this column. In this column several categories will be there. Each and every category's count will be taken, and from by using that count your graph will be shown like this. So this is an example for C1 library. And the next is, for example, if you want to take, we are having category and we are having several subcategories of your product. If you want to see what are all the categories which is selling, which is providing more profit, in that category, what are all the subcategories, from which are all the subcategories we are gaining the profit, like that and all. If you want to check it out and see, means as usual we have to group by category and subcategory. Then we have to calculate the profit value for each and every categories, and then by using the profit value you can able to sort those data. From that sorting function we can able to extract the top selling products which provides more profit to the company. Previously we have seen what are all the top selling products, and now we are going to see what are all the top selling products which provides more profit to the company. So first of all we have to group by category and subcategory, and then here we are going to check out with the profit. So we are using profit field. Then I have created a new data frame. So I have passed everything to the data frame. Then we can sort the values. We can sort the values by based on the category and profit, and then ascending is going to fall, so that your output will be displayed like this. So from this you can have a glance of what are all the data that is having more profit, what are all the category or subcategories which are providing more profit to the company, so that by using these details you can able to improve those are all the categories which provides less profit, or you can give some discount like that and all you can give it. By using these things we can able to find some of the information, we can able to analyze the data by using the data frame functionality easily in Python. And the next is, so for all in this particular example, no missing data is found. But always when we are doing any projects or any work and all, we will be having several missing data. Next, let us see how to handle those missing values. So for missing data, I have taken weather data, and I have, this is a CSV file. So I have used a CSV file. If you are using Excel file, means you have to use Excel file. I have used Colab for executing all the code. So I have saved the data in the drive. Then I have mounted the drive, and I have already imported it in the Colab, so that your output is displaying like this. So these are all the fields in which your data is missing. So it is displayed as NaN. So now we are going to see what are all the methods available in your pandas in order to fill all those values. The thing is, you can either fill it everything with zeros, or you can fill the values from your upper row or from your column preside over it or succeeder. You can, for this data, either you can fill this 9, or you can fill the 7, or you can fill it with 28.0, or you can fill it with snow. Like this you can fill it, or you can place a 0 in what are all the fields this NaN is present. So in order to do all these work, we are having the functions in your pandas. So I have imported the data frame. Now this data frame, in this data frame, if you want to fill NaN with zeros means df dot fill Na of 0. So that what it will do is it will fill everything with zeros and it will create another data frame. This fill NaN will take your data frame. The df is this data frame. From this data frame, this NaN is filled with zeros and a new data frame will be created. This is the functionality of this fill method. So you have to create another data frame in order to use this. So you have to use it with created another data frame. It is stored here. Output will be stored in new data frame. And if you want to print it, you can directly give the new data frame value so that it will be printed. See, every NaN is filled with a 0. Next, if you want to fill some particular field, for example, if it is a temperature, if NaN is present in the temperature field means you have to fill it with 0. In the event means you have to give some string that is not string, that is nil, like that and all. If you want to change the way in which if you are filling the data means you have to use df dot fill Na of, inside this you have to give temperature means colon 0. You have to give the key and its value. Like this you can give the set of values so that it is stored in the new data frame. See, in event it is displayed as no event. The next is if you want to take the backward data. For example, if you want to fill this NaN with this 9 means backward and this is 7 means forward. So see this field. See this, if you are using this backward fill Na, if you are using method equal to backward means this, for this initially it is NaN and here the data is filled with backward means from this row it is gaining and it is filling. If instead of backward, if you are using forward, F fill means this 7 will be filled with 9. From this row your data will be taken. So backward and forward. If you want to take it from the column means by default if you have to, the values will be taken from your row wise. If you want to take it from the column wise means you have to use axis equal to columns. Axis equal to columns means similarly backward fill means and forward fill. Both are available in both columns and rows. And the next is while filling from the forward filling or backward filling, limit equal to 1 means you will, if you are having this previous value is also NaN means it will not get filled. See here, since 5 and 6 are not filled because its previous value is also NaN, it is already filled detail and from here it will not be filled again. So like this, if you want to set the limit means also you can set it. For example, see the 6 and 4, 5 and 6 you are not assigning the data because forward filling already, see for this NaN 9 will be filled. For this NaN 7 will be filled. For this NaN's previous data is already and missing value. It is already filled with some other data. So you cannot take the data from it if you have used the limit as 1. If you are not providing any limit means then this 7.0 will be copied everywhere for all these rows. So like this also you can fix the limit in order to avoid repetition of more number of data. Then these are all the different ways you can fill the data. Next one is drop. If you are having any not entered field means you can drop those rows. If you want use drop Na means it will drop all the rows which is containing Na as any one field. If this row is containing at least one NaN means it will be deleted. So drop Na will delete your NaN values. This drop Na, you can specify the condition. How equal to all means it will delete only the row in which all the fields are not, all the fields are missing values. Not a number means everything. If you are deleting 6 means here all the fields should be NA means only this how equal to all will work and it will delete that particular field. Otherwise that field will not be deleted. Or else you can also use the threshold value in order to drop the data. Here threshold equal to 1 means if your any one row containing one numerical value or one value is present in that particular row means that will not be deleted. That is the meaning. You can either use how equal to all or you can use threshold equal to 2. If threshold equal to 1 means this row should contain at least one numerical value or string value. Any value should be there for that particular row. Or if you are providing 2 means 2 fields should contain a value. At least 2 fields should contain a value. Otherwise, you have to delete that particular row. So by using this fill NA and drop NA, you can modify your pre-process your data set by filling your missing values. And then if you are using all those functions which we have seen previously means you can able to extract the patterns or insight from the data set easily. So these are all the basic functionalities that you can apply it by using the data set. It is not only you have to use the data set directly. The thing is you can create your data set and you can load it, create it in an Excel file and you can load it, or else you can create your data set directly here itself. If you are using some simple data sets means you can use it directly here. See, here I am having a weather data. You can place this weather data in your Excel sheet and you can load it, or as a key value pair like this, you can create your data frames directly in your file itself. So I have created a variable. In that variable, I'm having key and the value pair. This day is the key and these are all the values present to the key. Like this, a list of values can be created of any data types, and then after creating a variable like this can be embedded in order to create a data frame. As I have already told you, PD is dot data frame is used to create a data frame. PD dot data frame, and this variable name is used to create a data frame. So that a data frame like this with all these column values and by default row value 0, 1, 2, 3 is assigned and a data frame is created like this. So you can create the data frame here itself by using the Python code itself. Or by using, without using your key value pair, you can directly give the values like this. You can create the data frame. Here in the weather data, I'm having only the values, that is this content is available, and I'm not having the column values means also no problem. You can store it the content as list of tuples. Tuples is the mixed values. Array means homogeneous data. Tuples is an heterogeneous data. Here a list of tuples has been stored in a weather data, and by using the weather data, I'm going to create a data frame. While creating the data frame, you have to give the content along with the column names to be specified. So here the column names is already specified. Here itself the column name is already specified along with the content. So here only this weather data is enough. Whereas in your second example, I have specified only the data and no column names is provided. So I have given the data equal to your data variable, then columns is equal to, you can give the list of column names as an array. So that a data frame like this will be created. Next, like this also, if you are having separate key value pairs as a list of dictionaries means, you can also create it by using the data and the column fields. So pd.data frame equal to data, your variable name, columns and your list of column names. Like this also, you can create a data frame, and then from the data frame you can use a n number of methods, and then you can use the, you can derive whatever information if you want to retrieve it from the data. Thank you. If there is any queries, you can post it in the chat box. I'll share the code.
Participants, if you have any query, you can ask. Okay, so I guess no queries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable input. Thank you so much, Vanira Sekar, ma'am. And thank you so much, Kevin, ma'am, for your valuable input on this session. The way you have explained the things, it was quite helpful for all of us. And we are very pleased to have this session from you. Thank you so much again, ma'am.
Thank you, and I'll present over here.
Thank you all, and I'll now explain. Somebody is asking about how to integrate Colab with GitHub. So I'm presenting my screen just 2 minutes to explain about how to integrate GitHub with Colab and Colab coding to GitHub. So I have created
Sure.
my own GitHub link. So 2 minutes I'll present Gaurav Kumar, then we.
Okay, ma'am.
So hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
So first I'll tell you how to integrate a code, Python code, which is present in my GitHub. Vani Rajshekhar, my first is ANB, which will I can show you how to GitHub directly into our Colab.
Excuse me, Moni, your voice is breaking.
Oh, sorry, I was disconnected and. So to get any link of your GitHub, you can click on this code. So you can click on this code. Hope I am audible to all as it is.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Then you can click on this code. You can get a link as I am copying this link. And how to open a Colab? Just you can open your Colab. So in that, while on the first screen we are having, before clicking on that new notebook, see here, in this we are having GitHub, an option called GitHub. So here you can paste your link. Yes, this is my link. So this is my GitHub link. So you can just click on this one. So here it will list the programs which is present in that link as it is. So which will list the program which is present there. So from here I can just click on this, then it will be directly opening. So the code which is present inside my GitHub array.ipynb, which is appearing in my Colab. So now I am opening it here, then I can run it here. So this is how I can integrate my program which is present in my GitHub to here. So the reverse case. So in my, so there is a code called sample.ipynb. Okay. So this I will show you how to, that you already know how to save this one into my folder, that is my GitHub link. There in file option you are having an option called save. So there are number of options in save. So save a copy in GitHub. So it is asking for authorization. So you have to authorize for you to enter there. So if you just click OK, so now you can see this sample dot, initially the sample.ipynb is not present there. Only array first and multiply is present. Now you can see this is my folder. So previously this is present, and now you can see the sample.ipynb is just linked there. So now I am having 4 codes, array.ipynb, the sample.ipynb which is present in my Colab. So I have just pulled it here. So if you want to use any of the code in any of the GitHub, just click this code, get that link, paste there in GitHub option. So there it will list the possible Python code. So then you can directly open and you can run it there. So likewise, I can directly open this one and I can write. So in this way, you have to integrate your GitHub and Colab and GitHub. Vice versa, you can send a data. Okay, I'll share my GitHub link. Okay, I'll share my GitHub link. This is my GitHub link. So you can use this and you can just experience that one. Thank you all. So I'll share PPT.
Thank you so much, ma'am, again for your valuable input. And now we will share the feedback link in the chat box. You can all fill the feedback link and leave them. Thank you all. Feedback link has been shared, so kindly fill the feedback form and you can disperse. Thank you so much.
Dear participants, kindly fill the feedback. Tomorrow's session starts by 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.